You're listening to the Roofing Success Podcast, a show created to inspire roofing contractors to achieve optimal success in their roofing businesses. I'm the host, Jim Moline, the co-author of the book, Internet Marketing for Roofing Contractors, How to Triple Your Sales and Turn Your Roofing Website into an Online Lead Generation Machine. I'm also the co-founder of Roofer Marketers, the digital marketing agency for the roofing industry. On each episode, I'll be sitting down with industry leaders to talk about their processes, the lessons they've learned, and how to find success in roofing. All right, thanks for joining us on another episode of the Roofing Success Podcast. Today we're going to talk about how to systematize your roofing business to maximize your success. And to join us on this topic, I found a company that has mastered the art of systemizing their roofing business, and which was started about 10 years ago during the Great Recession. So it takes courage to start a roofing business, a little courage or a little craziness to start a roofing business in the middle of the biggest recession in a long time. But built just an amazing company with amazing branding, and has turned it into a franchise model, which you don't see in the roofing industry very often. But in doing that, these guys had to master their systems. And so that's why this is just going to be a great topic. Make sure that you're listening intently to what these guys are saying. And I'd like to introduce to you right now from Honest Abe Roofing in Terre Haute, Indiana, the president of Honest Abe, Kevin Newton, and the vice president, Jason Revere. Can you guys tell us a little bit about your business, a little bit about Honest Abe Roofing and how it got started? And
absolutely,
of course.
Now, who wants to go first?
You go first. You started the company. You can start the conversation.
All right. So Kevin Newton, president and CEO of Honest Abe Roofing franchise, and a franchise location here in Terre Haute, Indiana. So we started, as Jim said, back in 2007. And it was during the start, if you will, of the Great Recession. But here's one thing I'll tell all you roofers listening in right now. The roofs have no idea that the economy is in or could be in a recession. So roofs need fixed no matter what the economic environment is, and people still need services. So with that being said, money may be short and could have been, it was difficult to find. Financing had dried up, but still I was able to work with companies and find companies willing to work with us to do unsecured financing to get roofing services completed in that time period. And that's a big part of really any company's success, is finding the money to help get services completed. So you just got to keep that in mind. No matter the economic conditions, roofs don't know the weather. They don't know the economics. They just know they need repaired. Our job is to be there and get the attention of the consumer who needs our services. And that's really where it all starts. You've got to get attention. If no one knows you're in business, you don't have a business. So if they don't know you, they can't flow you. So you got to get in front of people.
That's for sure.
Yeah, and roofing's easy.
Yeah.
I was talking to my friend Ben, the banker in the back room, currently listening. And he said, man, ever since we spoke, I'm driving around looking at roofs. I'm like, right. Yeah, Ben, it's that easy, baby. Who's got your money? Paul and Mary's got it. You just got to stop and knock on their door and say, hey, your roof looks bad.
Yep. Provide a service.
Let me fix it for you. It's not quite that easy, but really the mechanics are that easy.
Yeah.
And we know multiple roofing companies, and Jim, I know you know them, you speak to them more than I do. They follow that model of just seek and destroy. They see a roof and they knock on the door, and that's a slow process, but it is part of the process. Everything has to work together to create a successful business, and you do still have to get out of the door of your car and go talk to somebody at their doorstep, and that's the first step. That's how I started, was door to door. So I started that company in 2007 without any money. Actually, I was really in the hole and was able to get out of that hole. And I did that by funding my business through the consumer's money. So find the roof, recession or not, I can see a bad roof, I can knock on a door, and I can speak to somebody and provide them a service, and I can exchange with them service for revenue. and the consumer funded my business, and that's still how we operate today.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
And
so, so when you, I mean, you guys are a 6-time Inc. 5000 award winner now. What are you guys doing? How many employees do you have? How many crews do you run? What kind of revenue kind of range are you guys in right now? Where did you start from, and where you are today? Well, of course you started from zero, but
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll touch on that real quick, and I'll let Jason jump in on the basics of a local roofing company, which is what we started as, and we still operate today. So we're in a small town of about 100,000 people. There's 25,700 owner-occupied homes. Those are homes that I can serve. Our market's real narrow, so we focus on residential owner-occupied dwellings, not apartment buildings. I'm not doing commercial work. I'm working on Paul and Mary Lunchbox's house.
Yep.
They need services. They don't have time to do it themselves. We focus in on that specifically. So I make my market, I understand my market, and I go after it with very intense fervor. So with that being said, the company itself, still locally, we're at $10 million of revenue on our local level. And with that, we do that with a really a pretty small team. There's three inside team members. So I have 2 CCRs, or customer care representatives. I have a production/operations manager. I have 3 outside sales. We call them roofing advisors. And I have 4 field managers. So when it comes down to it, you've got about 9, 10 people there working daily.
$10 million.
So each person equals $1 million of revenue for
$1 million
us.
in revenue per employee. That's awesome.
And the average you see in the industry is per team member is more like 175,000. But you have to keep in mind, for those savvy roofers listening right now, they're saying, well, what about the guys who install the roofs? So if you put them back into our mix, you have to understand that even our partner crews, some people call them subcontractors, they're part of our team as well, and they do count as people on your payroll. You just pay them differently.
Yep.
So our field managers can oversee 2 crews daily, and we install between 5 and 6 jobs are going every day. The completion rate there is about 2.5 per day completed throughout a 5-day work week. We do that 50 weeks a year. So you can do the math on that and figure out average tickets if you want. So with that being said, we operate very, if you will, streamlined when it comes to the in-house team members. And we obviously leverage our ability to keep partner crews working year round. Snow, ice, rain, doesn't matter. We work year round. And if you own a roofing company, you know how hard it is to work in the wintertime and or get people to even want to put a roof on in the wintertime.
Yeah.
And I think that comes back to some of your questions you're going to have later, is how do you constantly get attention even when there's perhaps not an organic mindset to replace a roof? If you're in the Midwest or the northern regions of our country, I bet most people think, hey, we have to wait till spring or summer to put a roof on. Well, if you're a business owner, you can't wait till spring or summer. You have to create attention every day. I may have got off track a little bit, Jim, on
That's all right.
question, but
Jim, you mind if I jump in?
Go ahead, Jason. Yeah.
We are talking about two separate companies here to a degree, running the same kind of deal. So he starts his company in 2007 and begins going down the path to systematizing, as we mentioned in the intro.
And I'll say one thing.
Business.
I'll stop Jason one thing. I started the company with that in mind.
Yes.
Was to create a franchise system. So it wasn't.
You began with the end in mind.
Yeah. We didn't start with, hey, I've got bills to pay. I just need to own a job.
Yeah.
Accidentally. Put a roof on. Now that happened. Like those things had to take place. That was the grind you have to do every day. You have to be very strategic and systemized and tactful about what you're doing. Like I have to put my pants on every day. I mean, I go through the same process every day, but that process has to be scalable.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be at $10 million in revenue day one. It just doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't.
I'm not saying it can happen.
Yeah, no, you got to get there. You got to get there one roof at a time,
but
essentially.
But the goal is, like most millionaires in the world, they don't prepare to be a millionaire. So when the opportunity comes, they can't capitalize on it. So we prepared to be a million dollar company before it happened. So preparation is so important. You see it I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
In the lottery system, if you win a lottery, most people blow the money in a few moments.
That's right.
Because the opportunity came, they weren't prepared for it. They didn't have a $1 million mindset.
It's similar in the roofing industry. If a big storm comes in, and say you get an influx of organic need for your product and service, so much so that it's bursting at the seams, and you go in and you capitalize on that, which is great. And not criticizing anybody for doing that, but it's when you see there are companies that go so you see some of these magazines talking about, top roofers in the country, whatever. You'll see them go from number 3 to number 200 year over year. And because they didn't systematize their business. They didn't think, okay, I've got to figure out how to make this replicatable. I can't replicate weather. That's not what we can do. We can't go out and replicate a storm event, right? And so then if they don't move locations, they can't grow their business. And so what we had to figure out, and what Kevin had to figure out as starting this company was, all right, I've got, it's 2007. I'm going to start this thing because if I can learn how to do is what I'm speaking for him, I can teach other people how to do it too.
It makes it easier when you talk.
That's right. And so if with that in mind going, okay, well, great, we're going to systematize this business. So it takes some time to do that, right? I mean, you can't just, I'm going to day one have a franchise system because I've got a pretty good idea. Like, no, you got to prove systems out. You got to figure out what, to avoid redundancies in team members even. I mean, we talked about that, 9 team members running a $10 million company. You can't do that with redundancies in team members. No. You can't have a team member that's just kind of sitting around all day doing nothing, right? So you got to have really defined job descriptions. This is what you do. This is what you do in the morning. This is what you do at 9 a.m. This is what you do at 10 a.m. And here's how you do it all throughout the day. And then we bring on another guy. Hey, you're going to be a roofing advisor. Here's your scope of work. And it doesn't step on the toes of the other guy. I talked to a lot of people, roofing companies that run, they've got salespeople who are also running as field manager.
Yeah, it's not a salesperson.
That's not how you do it. Personally, at least to scale at the rate that you need to scale and to have a replicatable business without weather pattern influencing what you're doing. You can only knock on one door at a time. You've got to figure out how to get enough attention, to Kevin's point, to get the inbound leads that are substantial enough to grow at a rate that can keep you. Because if you're not growing, you're dying. The old adage, right? Mm-hmm. That no matter what, you can be $100 million company. There's still a wave coming for you, and if you're not growing, you're going to get trampled by that wave. And so, being able to continue to grow,
I think that's a great transition there into starting to talk about these systems, and we're going to try and go through your marketing systems, kind of breaking it down into what you need as far as systems in your business. Marketing systems, sales systems, construction management systems, hiring and recruiting systems, HR kind of systems there. And so that, what you were just talking about, and being there when there's no storm, right? And still having your business and still having a viable business during that time, it's about your marketing systems, right? And I know that you guys have, kind of call it like top of mind mastered, right? I mean, everything from from the way that you branded with the Honest Abe character, all the way to having a NASCAR, sponsoring a NASCAR car. So can you speak to maybe some of your marketing systems that you feel are keeping you top of mind in that manner, yes, and don't have to, putting you in a different position where you don't have to rely on those swings in weather to
yes, sir. So I'm going to wrap up what I was going for a moment ago, and then we'll answer that question. I think it'll dovetail perfectly. So
perfect.
Marketing is a huge part of any franchise system. You can't have a franchise. I see a ton of it. There's 3,500 franchises out there, right? Yep. Some are good, some are less good. They're all different types of franchises. But the good ones all have a recognizable brand. And so we thankfully, to Kevin's credit, had a recognizable brand from day one. you can't get better mind share than having a logo and a mascot that is basically legally mandated to teach third graders.
Yeah.
You don't see that very often. We can't have Joe's roofing company or even hell, Kevin's roofing company. Kevin is not legally mandated to learn about in third grade.
Yep.
And so with that as our figurehead, it makes that top of mind awareness, as you mentioned before, so much more attainable. And so in 2017, we felt like we had finally reached that point where we could franchise this thing. And so I'm just kind of giving you some background on the franchising deal. So in 2017, we filed our paperwork with the FTC, became a franchise, able to franchise nationwide. And we've been growing ever since. So $10 million is the local company here. We are projecting by the end of next year to be about a $40 million company overall. Maybe a hair more if some of the locations can get open and quickly generating revenue. And we're up to 15-ish locations now, 14 locations, and growing all the time that way. Back to marketing systems. Yes, it's so important to have a brand. There's all the rage now is the digital advertising, having landing pages and collecting lead data and doing all that stuff, right? I mean, you handle a lot of that stuff. You do that. Yeah. But that's not a replicatable process. Okay. So the minute you turn off, let's say your credit card expired yesterday. If you didn't renew it today, you have no leads. That's it. You have no leads until somebody gets in there and clicks another button and keeps it going. Having a brand and being recognizable and owning mindshare. What's the most expensive real estate in the country?
Mental real estate.
Mental real estate. It's the most expensive real estate in the country. If you can own mental real estate, we already own half of it. Okay? Honest Abe, Abraham Lincoln.
That's right.
It's there. We're halfway there. All we have to do is now associate people's minds with Abraham Lincoln means roofing now. So the battle for the mind share is half won. And so by doing that, we can have that where people, they're like, people like to be led and like to be told what's good and what to do, right? That's why we go to McDonald's. McDonald's isn't the best. We just know about it, right?
They're best known.
Yeah, they're best known.
I'd rather be best known than best.
Oh, always.
Give me best known over the best. Like you guys, I bet you got some best roofers in the world. You can keep the best roofer deal. I want to be the best known.
Yeah, and you do, because that's what's going to win. That's what's going to win the day.
We can all make a better cheeseburger at McDonald's. Can I get a witness? Come on,
man. Absolutely. Right. But you're still going to go there, and it's rare that best and best known intersect. Apple is maybe GE and Apple, maybe the only two that at one point in history were best and best known at one time.
Yep.
And when that happens, then that's when you get a mega company, and that's what we are. I believe we're best.
We're Apple
and best known. And so
we're Apple of roofing.
The Apple of roofing, Macintosh.
That's huge.
Yeah, we should, but unfortunately we have a Dell computer. That's why we keep having problems over here. So we should be invested in the honest Abe of computers. Apple, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, with the marketing systems in place, and now I'm not discounting, I'm not poo-pooing the idea of digital marketing, and we all understand it's important.
It's all important.
But it all has to work in concert with one another. It's like, your underlayments have to work well with the products over top.
I think that's important.
Right?
You can't go without the ice and water shield.
That's right. You can't have a waterproof system without having all of the things working together in the roofing world.
That's right.
You can't have a substantial business without having all of the pieces working. And that starts with marketing.
And even in
marketing's
marketing,
the genesis of the sale.
They're just tools, right? The digital marketing, the offline marketing, your canvassing, door knocking, all of these are just tools in getting to that brand recognition, right? So you can utilize these to get to that brand recognition, but they are not the be all of everything, right?
Exactly.
No one can, you don't have a business if you're just buying leads off of Home Advisor. That's not a business, right?
That's not a business. That's a service.
That's right.
It's not a business. And so to have a business, you have to be known. People have to want to purchase from you, not just purchase a roof. You want your consumers to want to purchase from you. And the only way to do that is to create a brand on a large scale. Sure, you can have word of mouth, and that's people wanting to buy from you. You can't do that on a large scale. I mean, we're going to install 900 roofs in Terre Haute, another 400 in Evansville, another, all over the place. We're going to do about 2,500 roofs this year. And how many people do you know that wander around talking about the experience they had with a roofing company? It's very seldom.
I own a roofing company. I don't know anybody.
You don't even know anybody that needs a roof. So
I don't actually.
The idea of
Ben, do you need a roof?
The idea of abdicating the responsibility of you growing your business to your customers is foolish, and it's not going to happen. And then
I love that.
Relying on Home Advisor to send you leads again that's not a business. That's a service, and it's fine. Again, I'm not hating on Home Advisor. I'm just saying,
like you might be hating.
It's all part of it, sure. But you to be the master of your own domain, to quote Seinfeld, you have to. If you're going to be the king of the castle, you've got to control the mind share of the company. You got to get mental real estate. And that's what we focus on. That's why we do things like sponsoring a NASCAR.
That's right.
It's not to get the influx of leads, to get these crazy amount of leads because we're on a NASCAR. Like, nobody's watching NASCAR going like, I'm going to submit a lead form now because I saw them on NASCAR. No, but when they need that roof, who do you think they're going to, who are you going to call? Ghostbusters, right?
I would.
The reason that song is so powerful is because it's so relatable. Who are you going to call? You want them to want to call you. And that's what we do. And that's what we focus on. Anyway, so I feel like I've hogged a lot of time there. So.
That's all right. In that presence of having, the like the NASCAR marketing and that awareness branding going on at all times, when they do Google a company in Terre Haute and they see you guys there, they go, oh, I know that company. It's relatable. So all of the other marketing that you're doing is more effective in that manner. Your salespeople probably have a better close rate because there's some level of trust to your company already. There's a lot that goes into that. So in your marketing systems, what, maybe break down what you're doing offline, online. Give us a little insight into that maybe, and what you guys are finding is most effective in those regards.
What you want? Can I say one thing?
Yeah, of course.
I know you want to talk like for an hour.
No, you're good.
Let me say one thing. It's not hard. The one thing is omnipresence.
Omnipresence.
See, most owners of businesses. That's who, Jim, I believe that's who you're speaking to on your podcast.
Yeah.
Most of them are trying not to lose. They're trying not. Their game plan is I don't want to lose. Mm-hmm. They're working off a budget. I got $1,200 budget, dude. I'm trying to spend $12 million today.
Yes.
Like, how much money can I spend? I got a banker sitting in the room. I'm going to take all his money. If he gives me $1 million, I'm going to spend it all getting attention. So I've proved if I spend $1 million, it produces $10 million in revenue at an 18 multiple on net money. And I didn't pay for any of it.
Yeah.
That $1 million I spent in getting attention, I didn't pay for it. It wasn't my money. I used the homeowners who were giving me money for their roofing systems. I just reinvested it back into the marketplace, got more attention, omnipresence. I'm up in your business everywhere you go. You can't get rid of me. I'm in your flipping skull, bouncing off your inner psyche, thinking, I go to schools and do things for kids, and they think Abraham Lincoln is a flipping roofer.
Yeah.
He's a president.
It's no joke.
He's a president.
Yeah,
he's a roofer.
Awesome.
I know. It's like that's local. But that's where I'm at. I'm working here locally.
Yeah, we're trying to get there nationally. That's
so yeah. So the thing is, if you put everybody thinks I can't afford to invest, dude. It's not even your money. It's all fake anyway. Why would you even care?
Yeah.
Take $10,000. I can turn it to $100,000 in 30 days. I can't tell you how to do that because you got to buy a franchise. But I
could do better. Well, I could take you.
Well, go ahead then. One upper.
$35,000, and we'll turn it into millions.
Oh, that's
coming later.
That's repeatable.
That's coming later. We'll save that for the end.
that's the reality though. So for your clients, you're speaking to, Jim, and any roofers who are just out there. I understand the biggest problem is they're still thinking like a roofer or a business owner, and they own jobs. and they're trying not to lose. So I see it in everybody's walk of life. I speak to hundreds of people a week across the country, and they're all trying not to lose their house or trying to make the car payment. If I could just make ends meet, quit trying to, because what they end up getting is exactly what they were trying to do.
Yeah. Hey, you made it. You didn't die.
You didn't die. You got the payment paid.
Congratulations.
You know, whatever. You're 10 days behind. But they're not trying to win.
I get so many people that I talk to asking, what is the least, essentially the conversation is, what is the least amount of money that I can spend to have a multi-million-dollar roofing company?
All of it.
It's it doesn't make sense. Can you?
Trick question. That's impossible.
It's impossible.
You can't run a multi-million-dollar company, man.
That's the problem. Yeah, that's right.
That should be that should be your answer.
That's your answer.
Yeah, it's impossible, man. You can spend $10 million and you're not going to have a multi-million-dollar company because you're inept.
Yes. It's a crazy thing, the way that people think about all of these, about the way that they want to run a business. And I guess that's the other part of it, is some people aren't running a business. They're self-employed.
Yeah. They own, Ben and I were just talking about that. They own a job.
That's right.
Like in the franchise, we operate in the multiple businesses, and one of them, obviously, as we spoke about, and Jason's in charge of, is a franchise entity. And in that industry, there's a lot of franchise models that are what I would call, maybe wrong, but self-serving. Where you end up buying a business in a box.
Yes.
You own, and you said it right, Jim. You own a job.
And who's winning in that scenario?
The franchisor.
The franchisor was winning in that
because they hired an employee through you.
Yeah, they hired an employee who's going to pay them to work for them.
That's right.
That is.
Are you talking about Subway and Quiznos and those guys? I'm talking about over there.
Out of the 3,500, you could look at about 3,300 of them.
That's right. I've seen that. I've looked at in a franchise model. I've looked at those a lot of times, and it's like, oh, I could buy a job. I could buy a $60,000.
I don't want to call anybody out.
No, but now you're talking about. So you want opportunity, right? And the opportunity is created by building a business.
Well, that's what it comes back to. That's why you're doing what you're doing, Jim. And kudos to you for trying to help this industry.
Yeah.
Is because the biggest challenge is you know the potential to help people, and you've got a core competency, and you have a reason to serve people, and you're trying to help people with your gift that you've been given. And you may not be a roofer, but you understand the need to get attention in the industry and how underserved it is.
Yep.
It's very fractured as a group, because most of us are utilitarians, if you will, and we are good roofers.
Yes.
But we're not going to be good marketers. We're not going to be good business leaders. We don't know how to scale. Like a Subway, that model fits very well for a guy who just wants to earn $100,000 a year.
Yep.
He buys a Subway. But a roofing company, as you know, and I believe your listeners believe they want to know more, and they believe that it's possible, is they could have, I'll say with this real quick before I keep moving forward and I'll be done. The average roofing company in America is doing $525,000 in revenue across our country. You're talking, and I know you've talked to some big hitters. This guy, I know a group that does $798 million.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't care. I'm gonna round it up. That's a Billy. That's $1 billion group.
That's right.
Going door to door knocking. No marketing.
Yeah.
No advertising.
None.
Door to door. Dude, that's hard.
Hard work.
You got little babies crying around, but it's so hard to go cold call. They're doing $1 billion worth of it. $1 billion.
$1 billion.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's impressive.
That's big.
Yeah.
That's big stepping, dog.
That's systematization. That's to the nth degree. Is what
That's right.
You want to get a lesson, you got to learn how to wake up in the morning and do the same thing consistently that works. Rinse and repeat. That's why a franchise system is so important. But with that being said, the whole point of my rant is this: you can scale a roofing company anywhere you want to go. Why do you want to do what you want to do daily? So if you want to own a job, own a roofing company, great. You can do that. If you want to own a business that is passive income. And everybody, this the buzzword, Jim, you know this. This is passive income. There's no such thing as passive income.
You have to do something to get income.
It doesn't exist. Like, I own commercial real estate. Dude, it's still not passive.
Yeah, you're still doing stuff.
My fire alarm doesn't work. Dude, it's not passive. Someone's got to fix it. You know, it's just the way it goes. You got property managers. Whatever. It's still, you got to do something. My Bible tells me
you hire the property manager.
You got to work. Sweat of your brows are punishment. Anyway,
so it could become management.
Yeah,
as a task, right?
Well, that's where
task,
right? You need good company. Look at GE, man. GE's a model for everybody. I mean, if you really want to de-layer things, GE's an HR company. How many different industries do they work in? They realize they got out of some because building toasters is pretty well done. So let's build X-ray machines and cascaders and jet engines, stuff that nobody else. If I can't be number one or number two in the market, and I can't figure out a path to get there, I'm out. So that's the thing. So if I go into a new town, we're going into all of Alabama this coming year.
Okay.
When I get in there, dude, if I can't help those people be one or two, we're done. We're going to fold up shop. And we're going to go to a town where we can maximize and scale out that place. Because if you can't be one or two, you shouldn't even be doing it. In other words, you won't be one or two today. If you got some clients, I'm sure, Jim, that aren't number one or two in their respective markets. But you are trying to systemize a way for them to get there. But they have to want to get there. And
they have to want to get there and be willing to take the time and effort that it takes to get there, because there is a path that you have to go down. There are no diet pills.
I got one in my pocket.
You got one?
You
got one?
Yeah, that's why you're so skinny, man.
Right here, man.
Yeah. There you go.
I won't eat lunch at all today. I'll just take a pill.
There you go. And work all night long on your roofing business.
It's because it's full of caffeine, man. It suppresses your hunger and just keeps you. 14 hours a day I'll be working. I'm not going home. I won't go home until I get my stuff done.
Yep.
That's different. That goes back to discipline.
Well,
we're getting off track though.
But I honestly, I'll tie it up with this.
Go ahead, tie that thing up, man.
I imagine most of your customers are hard workers.
Yes.
I would wager that to be true. I bet you they're hard workers. I bet you they're working there 14 hours a day.
I bet they're working on the wrong things.
It's the not working on the right things, and it's also
they're working on the things.
Yeah, or it's
on the business,
it's giving up right before the story 3 feet from gold.
Yeah.
It's not seeing what it's like. I mean, when we started this franchise system, 18 months ago, 19, 20 months ago, give or take, we couldn't see what tomorrow was going to look like. You can't actually physically grab what you're looking for, but you have to know that it's out there. Well, it's like if you're going in the darkness, right? You're going in the darkness.
I was there Sunday night.
And you know your destination is out there. Like we know our destination is out there. We can't see it. We just know that it's there.
That's a segue. Can I segue for a quick?
Yeah,
segue. Opportunity to talk about airplanes. That was so cool.
There you go. Perfect.
All right. So, all right. I'm sure you got some guys on the podcast who are pilots. And so my family and I, we went down for the weekend to Naples. And I was coming home. It was crap here in Indiana, man. It was snow and ice. It was garbage.
Mm-hmm.
So we're flying back. It's nighttime. It's dark. I'm coming down from out of 27,000 feet. At 14,000, I enter the clouds. You don't know because it's nighttime. The lights are on. I got the taxi lights or the landing lights on, so I can see the snow and the ice flying, hitting the wings. And I'm watching the wings just take on ice, man. I mean, this is growing. The windshield's covered in ice. You can't see anything. It's IMC, which means you're in the clouds, and you're just the plane doing its job to shed the ice off the wings. The ice is flying. The prop, it's a turbo prop, so it's a jet prop. And the plane's shaking because it's fighting through the ice, and it's scary. If you weren't prepared for that, most people would panic and they would quit. But I was prepared for. I knew what I was getting into. He said not seeing where you're going because they don't understand the why, the reason, the purpose, the goal, why procedure systems, the marketing is so important. All the things we're talking about today, which we're kind of getting off basis here. But a pilot had the checklist. I'm doing this every time I get in the plane. I get into an instrument condition, which I was coming down, very dangerous situation, taking on ice, snow, rime. You got a lot of things you got to be concerned with. And I'm shooting an instrument and approach into an airport at night where I can't see the ground or anything. I don't know which way it's up or left or up or down. I'm flying a procedure. It's called a procedure approach. It's an RNAV 3-2 approach into Holman Field here locally in Terre Haute, and I can't see anything. And meanwhile, I'm managing a company, which is the airplane, and the company's taking on problems, which is ice. But I'm following the procedures. I'm working on my training, and I'm doing the things, my checklist I know I need to do in order to manage the situation correctly and professionally and land safely. I got 4 kids on board and my wife, who I all love and cherish, and I'm not going to fail them. The problem is most of your clients aren't thinking this way. Mm-hmm. They're working without a plan. They have no idea what they're going into. They're walking into a house. They're doing roofs. They know about how the roof. Like I know how to fly a plane, but dude, listen, flying a plane is not as easy. I can put a roof on blindfolded. I can fly a plane blindfolded. I did that in the dark Sunday night. I know, but can you manage those problems? Can you take on the ice? Can you still shoot the procedure and follow through and execute without the proper preparation, the plans, the systems, procedures, the tactics in place, and being prepared for that opportunity? You're going to fail. Yeah, and that's where most companies fail. They get a little bit of resistance. They get pushback. Jim, you know this. They do marketing for a month or two. Hey man, I'm not getting any leads. You suck, Jim. And they fire you. Like, dude, it's not. This isn't a 2-week deal. Yeah,
that's right. They had a backup, but the deal is they had a backup plan. Yeah, in your analogy,
yeah, I'm not. There's no
backup plan.
No backup plan.
And that's going in. That's the same ethos that he's approached this business with, and that our franchisees have to approach their business with, because they could give up. You could just give up, fold up shop, and quit at any moment in anything you do. And it's the ones that keep going that are the ones that succeed. It's the ones that give up are the ones that fail.
Yeah, I'm getting to the airport, man.
Yeah, if you have faith in the outcome, you will execute, right? So you have your faith in landing that plane. You just had to execute the steps necessary to land that plane safely.
Yeah, I mean, there's multiple chances there to panic.
Multiple.
I don't know how much ice I can take on and shed. I was taking on more weight than the plane could probably hold, but I had 50 gallons of jet fuel left.
Yeah.
I knew what the weight of the ice roughly when I was guessing basically what the plane was taking on. So it was useful. So you're changing the laminar flow of the wing. You're changing lift capabilities. You're adding weight to the aircraft. All these things are changing the behaviors of the airplane. But you got to know these things, and you only know these things through practice. This morning, our sales meeting, practice, rehearse, and educate yourself. Practice, drill, rehearse. Practice, drill, rehearse, and educate. Practice, drill, rehearse, and educate. Practice every day, no matter what part of your business it is. You got to do it.
That's the system to that, right? There's a system for everything, right? Everything is a system in your business, and you'll never be able to. I mean, you can fully master them, but you have to put in the hours to master these systems. First, you need a system first you need a system, and then you need to execute on those systems.
Yeah, and you need to practice constantly. And that's what we developed that, and that's another little segue there. So we know that the hardest part of running a business is to get your system, which is great. You can have the greatest system in the world, but if you don't have the people to run it, it's going to be you running it, which is who wants to do that all day long? Not me.
That's not a system.
That's not a system. Yeah. And so we knew we had to create something. What better way to learn than with video? Using video to educate people is proven to be 80% more retention rate than using training manuals alone. And so why not use it? That's the best thing we got now. So let's do it until we can figure out how to synthesize it into scent or something that's going to be more powerful.
Oh, that's coming. 5G,
that's coming.
Baby.
Yeah.
Just watch out for 5G. That's a killer.
So we created Honest Abe University to do that. Hundreds of hours of videos, teaching people how to do every aspect of the jobs necessary to do this. So that way, instead of you learning how to do it, this is what most franchise systems do. You come out here, we'll do 2 weeks of training, 1 week of training, whatever. We'll teach you how to do this. We'll flood a building. We teach you how to turn fans on.
Restoration 101.
Yeah. Then we Then you go back home, and then you can teach other people how to turn fans on.
You plug them in.
Yeah, you plug them in, you turn them on.
Switch.
But if we didn't feel like that was living up to our end of the bargain as a franchisor, so we knew, hey, and we also know let's say when you graduate high school, you're not prepared to teach high school, right?
No.
You just graduated. And so why would we expect you to graduate here and then go back and teach other people how to do it? So we created Honest Abe University for that reason.
I'm a graduate, by the way. I graduated.
Graduated. Honest Abe University, magna cum laude.
Got the diploma.
And that's right. So it's hundreds of hours of videos. You get in there, whatever your job is, your roofing advisor, your field manager, your inside sales, your customer care representative, your franchisee. There's franchisee specific things. If you're an accountant within your company, how do you best shield yourself from tax liabilities, things like that. And we created it in order to have a systemizable business, more so, because that's why roofing companies aren't prevalent in the franchise world. It's because there's a lot of moving parts. It's a difficult business to run. This is not a Jamba Juice. Like it's not your training manual isn't put open on the sign, put up your sign on the front, and get a blender. Put ice and fruit in the blender and hit on, dump out, charge $8 and repeat.
I like this model.
It's a good model.
It sounds easy.
Don't forget your hairnet.
I don't like it.
So, but and again, I'm not discounting their business. It's just a different business. Their hard stuff is in creating the recipes, is in creating all the stuff that goes into why people would want to purchase from them. Our hard stuff is getting the human beings necessary to run the business.
Yeah.
And so that's what Honest Abe University is all about. And that's what
Jim, you know this, and the guys listening, whoever listens, what they complain about. I guarantee you, what they complain about the most isn't marketing. They can't find good people.
Can't find good people.
Number one thing, by the way, that's marketing too. They're not looking. You're bitching about it, but are you looking for them? I got an ad. That's not a ad on Indeed. Isn't looking. There's so many opportunities to find people. Like a third of your day has to be dedicated to recruiting. A third of your time. So if you're working 10 hours, 3.33 hours of your day should be focused on recruiting, whether that be at lunch or I'm recruiting. I'm at the car lot, I'm recruiting.
Yep.
I'm getting my shoes shined, I'm recruiting. I'm actively receiving good vibes from people. So you're hiring on character first, in attitude second, and we're all trying to find, a good roofer. Quit looking for roofers. They don't exist. They come across the border. You can find those guys, but they don't speak English. Now you got to teach them how to speak English. But if you're trying to find good people, obviously hunt where they hang out. Number one, that's common sense.
Yep.
But once you find someone's got character and good attitude, we're hired. Like, give me character, attitude. That's all I need. I'll train the rest. I have to. Your groups you're talking with in the future, or who are listening, have got to become training companies. You're not going to find top producers or magical roofing repair people with magic wands. That's not, first of all, sustainable or repeatable. So you got to create a system that does that internally.
You can repeat,
which is part of your marketing, by the way. You got to find those people.
You can repeat training. You can't repeat finding people who are already trained.
Like you're not going to hire. You can hire me at $35,000, but you're not going to get 80 of me. You get 80 of me through my university, and him, and so on and so forth. But
so putting the right systems in your business and then training the people in your business on those systems. It's also about hiring the right people too, which you had spoken to a little bit about the character. Do you guys use any personality testing, things like that? I know, some people use DISC, some people are using Colby, things like that when you in your recruiting process and hiring process.
Yes. Yes, to all of those, and it all depends on what the position you're hiring for too. Some things don't make a lot of sense to go through if you're hiring whatever. But yes, so the identifying them, and there's no magic bullet to identifying people either. That's why our motto is hire slow, fire fast.
Yep.
So you got to be discerning with your ability to understand who people are and be able to read people well, which is, I could probably get too much in behind the curtain with it on our interviewing style and techniques, but there's ways you can get information from people and be able to tell kind of what a person's character is without them actually saying it.
Yeah.
And you can implement those things. Well, that's all part of the training that we do here. When the inauguration period, when a new franchisee comes here and trains, we'll spend an entire day on basically just how to interview people. Here's how you do this. Here's how you figure out who to hire. And you're not going to always find, everybody's looking for diamonds. Aladdin was a diamond in the rough, right? So you try to find more Aladdins than you do for fully formed diamonds, because there's just more of them out there.
Yeah.
Unless you need one guy to work with you that's going to make your business amazing, and just you and him or you and her or whatever. Sure, you can find an A+, if you have a small hiring need. Finding 100 A+ or 10 A+ right out of the gate, it might be a little harder. So what if you could take a B and turn them into an A+?
I don't know, dude. I'd argue that a little bit.
Go ahead and argue it.
I'd argue that.
Argue it. You should be looking for the A+, but you have to have a system that can take a B to an A+.
Well, I would say if you're going, well, you might, yeah, okay. I'm not arguing against the B to an A. Our system can do that, and
that works too.
It does work. Always look for the A's if you can. I know I'm kind of speaking on both sides of the mouth. I said earlier,
course,
it's not possible.
Always look for them.
But what I'm trying to say is, when you find a C, don't think you can hire a C and turn it into an A.
No.
Like, you can't. You're wasting your time.
No, you can turn a C into a C+, maybe.
Let a C go back to the C business and let that business fail.
Yeah.
Don't bring those people on.
No, yeah.
That goes back to you hiring slow.
B+ is your cutoff. I mean, you can't take. You're not taking an F.
We got a banker in the room. He probably don't want to come up here and talk, but I guarantee you, he's not going to write. He's looking at me thinking, dude, I'm not going to write this guy. I'm trying to get a loan, right? He's not going to write me. Yeah. He's like, no, this guy's not A. He's not an A character. I looked at his stuff. He's kind of sketchy. He's on this weird podcast. Some guy somewhere in nowhere land.
He's flying ice planes.
He's got ice planes. It's all weird, man. Yeah. Like, this is not a normal deal. Of course not. Nothing's normal anymore. So, but they're looking at, they have a certain parameter they've got to fit people into a box. Like, our people got to look like this, or else we won't do business with them. That's the way we work. Or whatever. Meanwhile, they're getting money. If you have $100,000 in your account, they'll give you $1 million, because they've taken 9 times from the government, but they no interest. It's all fake. They're borrowing on debt base. It's a different story, different day. But they're trying to put us all in this box to meet their criteria, and that's what you've got to do too. Like, I can't take a C person because he said one thing right and expect, oh gosh, he can fix roofs really well though. He's got 40 years of experience. He's got 40 years of doing it the wrong way, maybe. Yeah. Or bad habits.
And a meth habit.
He's got no teeth. That's a bad sign. I'm not trying to be negative there, but taking a C, just let them go to the C company, man. And if you got C credit, they're going to let me bounce, and I'll have to go find a bookie. That's fine. I'll find a bookie. Yeah. I'll keep digging. Of course you won't hurt me. I'm going to win either way. I'm persistent. I'm just going to keep digging.
That's right.
There's so much. I mean, your guys you're talking to, Jim, they just don't know, man. There's so much flipping money in the world. It's endless. They'll just print more of it. Now they just digitize it. Wait to 2030, see what happens. There won't be any more money. It won't be. It's going to be fake, and the control situation will be out of control. It's just. Don't get me started on that. That's a whole different topic. We can do that next time.
Yeah. That's right. We'll have a special topic about that.
Yeah. That's why it's so important to have a franchise now.
Yeah, man. You got to earn that. You got to earn that stuff. It has to be attracted to you. Like, you can't go out and find money and beat on it. If you do that to a woman, they'd arrest you, for stalking or whatever, or rape. Money has to be attracted to you. So it does start with, Jim, what you're doing, which obviously is a great service, providing marketing help and direction to roofers who just don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So as you ask these questions, you're obviously trying to peel back the onion of our success and companies you interview success. Yeah. And when it comes down to it, it all comes down to procedure, systems, and persistence. They have to have a why that pulls them through those tough times. And you're going to get no's. Like, and I'm a salesperson, and you're going to get no's. Give me some more of them. If it takes 100 no's to get one yes, that's my formula. I don't care. What, it's 1,000 no's? Great. I then say yes. But I just got to figure out the formula.
That's
persistence.
Yep. And it becomes a formula, but it doesn't become a formula until after you've done it enough times to recognize the pattern in the formula, right? Then, the conversion rate.
It's the rinse and repeat model. So now you have something that you can fix. And the biggest thing is people try to change too many things, or they keep doing the same thing, expecting a different outcome, which we all know the definition of that.
Yeah.
Insanity, I think.
So it sounds crazy.
But you got to change yourself first. So right now, the biggest advice I can give your viewers, Jim, is your biggest problem we had in our Tuesday hustle this morning is I got some guys who are, they're $3-4 million producers in the group. And Joe, guy's a multi-million-dollar producer, but he's had a few bad months, and he admitted, like, dude, what was the turn for you? It's like, I got out of my own way, which really means to get down the weeds. He had to get back. Instead of being a salesperson, he had to be a sold person. You got to get sold on why you're going to market, why you're going to use Jim as your coach in marketing. You got to get sold on if you want to join a franchise system. You got to get sold on why you're going to push through resistance with Paul and Mary at the table to make sure your kids are fed. Like, your why has to be big. Your persistence has to be strong, or else that's when you get pushed around. You keep repeating, well, I did this once. I ran a one-legged appointment once and it worked.
It worked.
I did it once. Yeah, but you did it 90 times and it failed the other 90 times. If it takes 2 decision makers, get them all there.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's neither here nor there, but that's all part of systems and procedures.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes.
And so having the systems, executing on the systems. So for these, for the viewers that, have that, let's get back to some of the systems that you guys do. So you have your marketing system, you're focused on brand recognition, top of mind. That's kind of, and in that top of mind, you become the number 1 or number 2 company in that area. That's the goal. It's not a short-term, it's not a short-term plan, I'm assuming. It's a long-term plan.
No, it's a long-term deal. And then you also have to pepper in all the other stuff, the calls to action, the digital stuff. You've got to be the best at all of it. And that's what we feel like we've become.
Yeah, for sure.
And so you have to be the best at every turn.
And then to Kevin's point too, you have to really believe that you're the best, right? You have to know that the work that you're performing is top notch. And I think that leads to another point of that can kind of lead us into sales systems a little bit, is where people struggle with what their worth is at the closing table, right? Mm-hmm. Are you competing against the Chuck in a truck that's just willing to take, to make nothing? Or are you trying to compete with that guy? Or are you building yourself a brand that people will pay more for?
Of course you can.
Can I hit on that, Jim?
Please.
Let me take a hit on that deal real quick. Let me swing at that. I got my friend Ben Day. He's with a bank here locally, a regional bank, Jim. Ben, I'm sorry, that's Jim. I got Jim here, I got Ben back here. All right. You don't have to speak. You just say, yeah, regional, right? Yeah, cool. So a fairly big bank, and Ben's not in competition with other banks. All right. He's not competing. So this is the biggest problem that most owners like us struggle with, and/or salespeople. They believe they're in competition, as you said it, Jim, with Chuck in the truck or Fred, this freaky roofer or Sam the shabby shingler, whatever you want to call the guy, doesn't matter. That guy will always exist, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah, that's right.
The real competition, I believe personally, is in the mind of the buyer. So our competition, our battlefield is inside their head. Mm-hmm. And my only real competition, the competitors there is me and them.
Yeah, and it's in the mind of you too.
I've got to win that battle first. So there's people who they employ and talk to, companies you work with, Jim, have salespeople. That's the biggest problem, dude. You don't want any salespeople. Like, if you're calling yourself, I want some sold people. My people are sold. I call them sold. You're sold. I got a sold person here. I got a sold person there. They've got to be sold out because price, you got to get this. Price is a myth. Like that's like number 12 on the list of concern for buyers. They want problem solved. And when value exceeds price, what do people do, Jim?
Buy.
They buy things. It has to exceed it. If it doesn't exceed it, no one's buying.
Yep.
I don't care what the cost is. I will buy that thing if it solves my problem. And I perceive the value you're sharing with me. If I can't present the value, solve a problem for you at whatever price is, I'm not going to buy it. If you got me a price I'm happy with and the value exceeds the ask, and you're showing me a way you can fund it for me, and I can pay for it as I use it, dude, I'm in. Sign me the hell up. Why are you taking so long to wrap this deal up? How come this isn't sold yet? I'm buying. You're sold, I'm sold, we're all sold. I don't want to be sold to. I just want to be sold. Because if I'm walking in trying to sell you, I'm a salesperson. I'm walking in, I'm a sold person, and you're going to buy from me today. I get that permission from them when I walk in the house. Here's what I'm doing today. Here's why I'm going to do it. Here's how I'm going to do it. And here's why you're going to buy from me. My job is to do that. Would you stop somebody would you appreciate someone stopping you from doing your job? Well, of course not. Would you work with me then to do my job? Well, yeah. Would you help me throughout the process? Of course I would. If at any point in time throughout the day, I'm not helping you solve your problems, would you let me know that way I can better serve you? Well, of course. Thank you for the opportunity to serve you. Thank you for you helping me. I look forward to being a roofer for you for as long as possible. Whatever script you want to write, but I'm getting buy-in from the get-go because I'm sold. And I'm doing it. My job this is my job. I'm not here to give you a flipping estimate. You got guys walking in thinking they're going to drop estimates. That's not my job. If they see themselves that way, guess what they will do? They will do that thing.
Yep.
And that's what happens. I got 4 estimates to run today. I want to run 4 estimates.
He's a commodity. He's voluntarily commoditized himself. He's turned himself into cornmeal. Like, hey, I'm cornmeal. And so as the price goes up and down, depending on market conditions, I'm going to go up and down with it.
Yeah. So if Chuck's $7 a square, I better be $6.50 a square.
Yes, I do. Okay, great. Yeah. There's the trick is that there is no commodities market of roofing. You're not listening to the radio, and then today the mid-market update numbers are we got asphalt shingles trading at $225 a square, and
rib panel exposed fasteners going at $320 a square.
Like no homeowner has any clue what roofing costs, what anything should cost, what anything can cost.
They don't care.
They don't care. And they don't care.
No one cares what price
Can you solve my problem? Like, what does an iPhone cost? Like $1,000, $2,000? Who knows?
Who cares? And who cares?
They don't even ask when they go to the store. All they say is,
who cares?
I want it. I have to have it. Okay. Here you go. Great. Do you take this credit card? Yes, I do. Perfect.
Yes, I do.
By the way, how much was that? So I could tell my wife.
Don't care.
When she looks at the bank account.
No, Ben thinks that people care.
Yeah, he thinks people care. Yeah.
They don't care.
Nobody cares.
No one cares. Because, hey, listen, if I tell you this thing's $1,000, where'd that price come from?
Yeah, I made it up.
I made it up.
Yeah.
If I can tell you it's $2,000,
it's the same thing. It costs the same amount of money to make.
Where'd that price come from? See, the problem is these guys that you're working with, Jim, they're letting Zach Humate, the insurance companies, and other roofers run their companies for them.
Yeah.
It's suicidal.
It's embarrassing.
They have no clue what their worth is. You said it. They have no clue what they're worth. That's why I know my value is X, and I'm bringing it to you. If you don't buy from me, I'm doing you a disservice if I let you go with the Chuck in the truck.
Yeah.
I won't allow that to happen today, so sign here.
They'll walk past a home. They'll walk into a home that has a $60,000 Dodge Ram and walk past a television that probably costs $2,000 while the person is on their phone that costs $2,000 and they're afraid to tell them it's a $12,000 roof or $15,000 roof. It's idiotic. It's totally asinine. So yes, to wrap up that sales system. Yes.
Sorry about that.
Yes, we have a sales system and it's really good. And we call it the prevent and know sales system because that's all you want to do in a sales process. Prevent knows. And so it's really good. And
it's PANS
for short, Prevent a No Sales System, the PANS. And we train on it relentlessly. And there's an entire module in Honest Abe University where it's an entire acted out
101, 202.
Yep, there's 101, 202, all the way up to 404. 404. So 101, 102, 103, 201, 202, 203. We did. I try to keep it university-like, obviously. And all the way up to 404, I think, which is like kind of mastering the close.
You're at my level now.
Yeah, you're teaching that class.
Anyway,
so the sales system.
So you have to have the system, again, kind of what we've kind of been going over. You have to have the system. So you have your sales system, the Prevent or No Sales system, and then you practice your sales system over and over and over again. You're fully sold on the outcome of what happens when you execute your sales system in the right way, and then you execute.
Yes.
Every time. And if you continue this process over and over again, that's how you get to 10 million, 40 million, a billion. The big
numbers
B.
The numbers don't matter, Jim.
Yeah, it
doesn't.
It's endlessly scalable.
You get to what you want your business to become.
Yeah. I tell you, my biggest problem in life is always setting my goals too low. We go to the bank and we ask, let's say you want to get a loan to grow your scale of business, and you can only bring in so much revenue a year, whatever it is. And me, I've always funded my stuff through my clients, but through other operations we operate, I'm always looking for cheaper money, or to fuel, because money in our businesses, in any business, is rocket fuel. You got to propel the ship, man. Got to get to the moon. It took a lot of fuel. They blast through the atmosphere, and that thing moves real slow when it gets going, until it gets going to critical mass. Anyway, with that being said, back to what we were saying about sales real quick. A lot of my, and I'm okay to admit this, a lot of my guys know what to say. They're not saying what they know.
Yeah.
Like, I know you got owners and listeners and fans tuning in who know what to do, what to say. They just don't do it. And I don't know why that is. And that's because they're sales minded or estimated minded, and they're not sold on doing it. For some reason, there's a glitch in the matrix, and they're not bought in, and they don't believe. And I always think everything comes back to their why. Like, why would I put myself in a position to be here today? Like, either they don't believe in the value they bring to the consumer, they don't believe in the purpose to take care of the family. I mean, they're probably carrying with them an exit strategy. Well, I could go back and work at Kroger's again, or whatever.
And they believe that they are the same as whatever.
I don't even understand. See, like, talk to us, we don't get that.
They believe they're the same, and that's the biggest problem.
Like, what's that even mean?
Like, you're more expensive than chucking a truck.
Okay, I'd hope so.
Well,
I'd be shocked if you were the same.
But their mind, they should be like, you're more expensive than Apple iPhone. Well, yeah, we're different things, man. Me and chucking a truck are different things. That's right. That's like saying I'm more expensive than a newspaper. Like, I get it. We're just different things. You're comparing apples to oranges to whatever.
Things that are different aren't the same. Yeah. So people got to get that. Yeah. It's like the different versions of the Bible has the same content, but it's written differently, and some of the verses are omitted.
Yeah. A Dodge Ram's more expensive than a bicycle. Well, they both do the same thing.
They both have tires.
Yeah. I mean, I guess kind of, sure. But
that's the problem with that. Just like to your point, Jim, they're not. This perhaps not a system or a process they're following, and they're not sold out to it, and they bought in to believing they're a commodity.
Yeah, they believe they're a bicycle,
and they're competing against other roofers. I don't compete against other roofing companies. I get it. There's other roofers in the industry in my area. I understand it. Yeah, I get it. I thank you for reminding me. My goal daily, by the way, no one likes to hear this. I'm trying to put them all out of business. I've succeeded multiple times.
Coming after you.
Yeah, who was listening? I'm coming to your marketplace. I'll be in your market soon. If you're
very soon.
I mean, I'm either you're gonna get on board, or I'm gonna put you out of business. And that's not. You'll get some hate in your comments, I'm sure. I don't really care, but they should also have the same
mindset.
Yeah, because I'm not here to compete. I'm here to flip and dominate, man.
That's right.
I'm gonna suck all the oxygen out of the room for everybody else dies. I'm the only guy breathing on the oxygen. I'm sucking it up. You're all gonna choke out, man.
They're going to have to break up the Honest Abe roofing monopoly. Is that what you're going to? Is that what you said? Your goal is to testify in front of Congress to break up your roofing monopoly.
I hope so.
Yeah,
That's the goal,
that would be
man.
cool, man.
You gotta have something you got. What drives you through the pain every day?
Yeah.
No, you can't. We're gonna help you. No, hell no. No, we're trying to build out a something that's so huge.
Yeah.
And will it ever happen? Whatever. Yeah, maybe not. But at least I'm trying. What are you doing today?
Because there is pain every day. There is pain every day, right?
It's like stay in bed, still be in pain because my ass wasn't working.
Yeah, it's gonna be a struggle.
Poop my pants.
Poop your pants.
Bed sores.
Awesome.
No.
Well, so now the only thing that we haven't really kind of covered is okay. So now I know that you guys have positioned yourself or not, and think of yourself as a sales and marketing organization first, right?
Marketing and sales.
Marketing and sales.
Marketing and sales, yeah. Marketing
You can't
and
sell
sales
something until someone knows you.
And so then once you get into these markets and start dominating with your marketing and sales systems, you got to put roofs on, right? So maybe speak a little bit to some of the kind of processes and how you effectively and efficiently run your crews maybe and get your run your production crews and things like that.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, no.
We're a roofing company too.
Yeah, obviously that's the part that we all that we all want to avoid, right? Well,
we gotta do work.
You gotta make it happen. So it all comes from what you believe is the value proposition for the homeowners, right? Everything comes from that direction to us when you're making decisions. So if it's something that's going to be of value to the homeowner, you need to have that as your compass. And so that's how we created the executive installation process, which is our methodology of installation. Okay, we have this. We install the shield of protection around the homes every time.
Too much.
Sorry, yes. I don't want to give too much. So everything goes exactly the same. Okay, you not only are you going to systematize your sales process, but you want to systematize the installation process.
Yeah.
I can give you way too much, I'm sure, but suffice it to say, it all starts.
You don't compete with other roofers.
That's
true.
It's true. But we could give you a Lamborghini. If you don't know how to drive stick, it's not going to go anywhere. So
that's right.
It doesn't really matter. But the whole point of having the executive installation process the way that it's done is to benefit the homeowner.
Well, I'll just say this for Jim to make it easy. I think you're looking for bullet points probably.
Of course.
So instead of giving all the details, the biggest thing is your listeners have to understand that their company, they're not a roofing company. There's basically three parts to any successful company, especially in our industry. First and foremost, you said it, is what your core competency is, Jim, which is marketing. Mm-hmm. So attention first. Attention always comes before anything else. Okay,
yep.
The chicken came first. Okay, then laid eggs. God said there's chicken.
Yeah.
Adam named it. You're a chicken. And it laid eggs. Okay, and then gave birth more chickens. Anyway, so that's just true. It's how it went, man. I read the Bible, dog. Anyway, so marketing first. Then I have to convert. So I'm a marketing company first and foremost. I'm not a roofing company. So day one, marketing. Day two, or second, after that, I have to have a sales company's mindset. I have to have a sales company going inside my operation.
Because it doesn't matter how good you are at installing. Nope. If you can't convince people of that,
it doesn't matter.
You're never going to get to practice.
So the other part of the company, Jim, obviously we are in the construction industry. We are now a construction management company. That's the back end of the first two quadrants, or not quadrants, or the first 2/3 of that operation. Yep. You can break, obviously each segment breaks off into its little, if you have a flow chart or org chart of each three core groups there: marketing, sales, construction management. And inside the construction management, they're following the same procedures and processes in every other sector of the company. There's processes for installation. There's obviously has to be processes for communication between yourself and your clients. Mm-hmm. And then after you're done with the construction management part of the company, that has to go back to the marketing department. There's basically 7 tiers to our sales system. First and foremost, you got to get attention, right? You got to acquire a prospect. So prospect number one. Number two is initial contact. You got to talk. You got to know how to introduce and get inside in front of somebody. Number three, you got to be able to present, man. Presenting's up next.
Right. Now you qualify.
I qualify. I'm sorry. I got excited. I'm so happy about presenting. Yeah. Lost my, that's not right. So prospecting, number one. Number two, initial contacts. So we're inside the marketing and sales part of the company still. Now, initial contact, I'm in sales. Actually, I'm still in the marketing format somewhat, even though I'm in front of the client. Number three, now I can qualify it's been qualified to buy from me. And his wife, hopefully she's present, or vice versa. Are they qualified? I'm qualifying them, and that way I can put together that battle plan throughout my sales process on how to serve them the best way. That way I can convert them to a client. Number four, I'm going to present. 5, I'm negotiating. 6, I'm closing. 7, it's everybody misses. 7, you got to get referrals, man.
Got to lay the egg.
Jim got you a lead. What in the hell are you doing with it after you close it? Get some more. Make that chicken lay some damn eggs.
Yeah, get the eggs.
Get some referrals. Then go to work on them. Any good soul person would bring leads back to the owner of the business. You're all bitching about your leads suck. You suck. The leads don't suck. You suck. Yeah. Marketing sucks. No, you suck. Sorry about my strong language, Jim. Hopefully your listeners are tough.
Yeah, but yeah. So
roofing contractors are tough.
Yeah, man. I know.
To wrap that up, so we know that you've got to be able to. In order to have a systemized business, you've got to be able to keep things relatively well organized, right? Yeah. So that's why we created Abe Connect as a way to kind of manage the flow of not only customer information, inbound information from potential customers, and manage the sales process throughout and follow-up process, everything with that, but also as a way to manage the construction management part of things and control the construction management part of things.
Abe Connect does all that for you.
It does all of that. And so it's a communication piece between you and your partner crews, communication piece between you and the homeowner, scheduling software. It does everything that you need it to do. And so that's another thing, when you launch a franchise system, you need to have some things that are technologically in place to make it easy to do. Yeah. And there's a million other, companies out there that have CRMs, Salesforce, a million others, AccuLinks.
Yeah. They don't have AccuLinks. I mean, that's a decent system. I'm sure some of you guys are using it.
Yeah.
It's insurance.
JobNimbus, AccuLinks, all these, yeah.
Yeah, several, but they're all, a lot of those are really insurance based.
Mm-hmm. Especially any of the ones that are roofing specific or home services specific.
Or they're 2-stop based. I'm not doing a deal in 2 stops. No. I go out, I get the information, I do the meeting, I do the warm up, I get information, I come back, I put the crap into the picture of the satellite garbage into the thing, it poops out numbers out exactly made. I come back, I present. Dude, that's stupid. Yeah, why are you slowing down the process? Shut them down day one. Walk in, it's done. Here you go.
And the homeowner doesn't like that process. That's idiotic.
Nobody.
That's right.
Amazon, ship it to me.
Yeah, people want to buy now. They want to buy it now. So that's what Abe Connect helps you do. Anybody out there watching this that just stumbles upon it because they saw 2 good-looking fellas and a third good-looking fella in the behind with red behind them, and they just wanted to watch this, and then they're thinking, "Hey, I'm not a roofer. How would I even run this company?" That's truth be told, I don't think none of ours are roofers. None of our franchisees are roofers.
No, we don't. I don't mean the conversions or whatever, but I think Jim, you're probably seeing it yourself, getting a good roofer who's good at being a tactician, being somebody who can do roofing work, struggles in all the other things, because the roofing part really isn't the business. I'm sorry to say it. Roofers who are listening, I don't care if you're the best roofer. Congratulations. I'll send you a trophy. Send me your address and your phone number, and I'll send you a trophy and your email address and anything else you can give me to help communicate with you. Anyway, send me your information, and I'll send you a trophy for being the best roofer, but no one knows, no one cares. You need to be the best business in getting attention, getting sales, having to be able to forecast your future profits, being able to execute that and repeat it, rinse and repeat every day.
The funny thing is that makes you the best roofer by virtue of you're able to actually service people after the sale. Unless every roofer out there that's on the call bats 1,000, you've never had a mistake, you've never had a callback, you've never had any sort of leak happen after the fact, you've never had a bad day, then keep rolling with it. But if you want to, if you're going to scale your business out, you're going to have times where maybe you have to go back to a home once, twice, whatever, to alleviate the problems. The only way you can do that is if you're fiscally solvent. Okay. And you get that phone call from a homeowner that you screwed up something with. What are you going to do when you get that call? Is character going to push you to go out and take care of it? Your character may wane if you don't have the funds necessary to do that. And you're not going to have the funds necessary to do that if you're working for insurance proceeds. I'm sorry, you just won't. And so you want to have a solid business. And as a roofer, I'm not knocking any roofers being conversion into our system per se as a in stone rule of ours. But
Jim knows how hard it is.
We've never seen I've not met one yet that has passed the franchise approval team. So if you guys are out there and you're watching and you feel like you are an excellent operator, have the potential to be an excellent operator, you're just missing maybe some of the tools necessary to do it. We'd be happy to meet with you and discuss that. And
how would they get a hold of you?
That is a wonderful question. So to get a hold of us, there's a couple different ways. You can visit our website, roofingfranchise.com. That'll take you there. HonestAbeRoofingFranchise.com will also get you there, but some people don't like to type, so we shortened it to roofingfranchise.com. That'll take you right there. You can shoot us an email, info@honestaberoofingfranchise.com. Sorry, you're going to type that all out. Or you can call us 866-587-5171 and ask for a franchise advisor. We'd be happy to take care of you and see if this would be right for you and if you would be right for us.
Great. I appreciate you guys' time today. I know that you're very busy in setting up all your new franchisees and running your business. But I definitely appreciate you coming on and sharing your insights and wisdoms in how you've become such a successful roofing company. And this has been another episode of the Roofing Success Podcast.
Thanks, Jim.
If you would like to generate more sales through your digital marketing efforts, please visit roofermarketers.com and get a copy of the book, Internet Marketing for Roofing Contractors, How to Triple Your Sales and Turn Your Roofing Website into an Online Lead Generation Machine. Also, check the training section of the website for guides on everything from running effective pay-per-click ads to how to properly set up your Google My Business listing. This has been another episode of the Roofing Success Podcast. Thanks for listening.